let's get right into it. I finally awakened my son, Wukong. I've had him at A3 for almost a year now, while sitting on 2 extra copies. I finally sat down and got it done and brought him to A5, and let me tell you right now, the damage number results are going to shock you. I expected big things. Obviously, it is an enormous jump going from A0, A1, or A2 to that A3, and we know the A5 is a big step up, but I thought the huge leap was to the A3. And the data I'm gonna show to you from my testing is going to wow many of you. This awakening is insanely legit. I've got this table right here. It's actually all filled in already. I've just made the text color the same as the cell color. So what we're gonna do in this video is I'll unveil each result one by one after I show you the run. So I wanna hop right in. I wanna show you the amazing results. What we're gonna do is the following. I'm gonna show you the build I ran him in for all 4 of my tests. And what were those tests? Well, I did 2 manual runs at each awakening to control for some variance. It has to be manual because the auto is an exact mirror copy run of whatever you saved. So that was not an option. I did a manual run at A3, then another, then I took the average. Then you'll see I'm gonna go awaken him. We'll check that footage out. It was a big moment for me. I've been waiting nearly a year for this. Then once I had him A5, I did 2 more manual runs, and I took the average, and you're gonna see 2 final results. The percent increase from A3 to A5 up until the point in the fight where the A3 run ended, as well as the results in the A5 run to the end. Because the A5 run went longer. Spoiler alert, it was a lot better at A5. The results were insane, but the jump in our blood total was unbelievable. So without further ado, let me show you the first run. I'll kind of narrate the setup for this one, and then we'll quickly run through it. I'll rejoin at the end. We'll look at the results, put it in our sheet, do the same for run 2, awaken, then do the same thing at A5 for run 1 and run 2. And then of course at the end, we're gonna take the final results, I'll give the conclusions, and you will be blown away. Also, if this was not insanely clear, all this testing will be done in Abyss 1. I think it's a very good controlled test, and there you have it. Without further ado, of course, we need to start off by going over his build, then we'll get into the runs. Let's do it.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
So let me very quickly show you guys the build we're running on Wukong in this video. You can see Wukong is already A5, so I'm filming this after, but I promise I just forgot to do it. All this gear I'm about to show you is exactly the gear I used in all 4 runs featured in this video. It's very good gear. I tried to deck him out in some of my best stuff. You can see I've got this excellent WatchGuard exclusive ring from a Cataclysm set. This is one of the best pieces on my account. I've got this excellent bangle with a good roll and max crit damage, really nice variant effect with that maxed secondary attribute, and we got lucky that it's crit damage. And then I have an amulet with a nice quad. If we look at this variant weapon right here, an excellent quad with unstoppable force, which is extremely strong, one of the best variant effects in the game, and then this excellent breastplate with quad stats. Right? You get it. Quad substats, that is the theme here. We did pick up crit rate on all 5 pieces, so it's not perfectly optimized, but the gear's pretty insane. If we look at the artifact, I have Wukong's exclusive. Nice augmentation, not the best runic augmentation. I did get attack bonus, but not a huge roll. All in all, we've got a great build. I can show you the total attributes here. Just over 41,000, actually nearly 42,000 HP, just over 30,000 attack. The attack speed is very high at 516. Attack interval is 1.3. Crit rate is crit capped, and crit damage is at 367%. No additional rage regen percentage. That's the build. Let's get to the runs. So here we go, run 1. I pre-recorded all of my testing. I thought this would make it a lot smoother in terms of making sure all of my inputs and all my timings were as controlled and consistent as possible. I try to do my best when I'm narrating and doing it live, but it's a lot easier to dial in and focus if I don't have to focus on the yapping. So I'm running a Nightmare comp and an Esotericist comp. This is pretty dang similar to how I got my first 60k. The only difference is I originally used Malric instead of Sun Wukong. I didn't even use Sun Wukong. So here he is at A3. I put him in like my best gear now. You guys just saw his build. So let's get into it. First things first, I'm gonna place all of my DPS. So you'll see, got Kagiri right there, then Sun Wukong, then Numera. The Wings of Grace, obviously, it's all gonna land on the highest available attack units. so we don't have to be worried. Corridor is putting on some Wings of Grace as well. Getting everyone placed. There's Thorn, and finally Nastia. Just got the Diao switch, and here are the overall stats. Lead off with a Kagiri input, then Sun Wukong right after, and you kind of know the drill, I think, at this point, right? If you don't, fair enough, but I think you probably do. Otherwise, go check out some of my Abyss guides. I'm probably going to do an updated Abyss guide pretty soon, so if you guys want that, let me know in the comments. But that's basically the setup. All the timings are going to be very standard from here on out. I'm going to throw this on like 8x speed or something, and I'll join you towards the end of the run. See you in a second. All right, let me rejoin you here. That is the Storm Surge of Phase 5. Big hit there. And you'll see the damage is there when it comes to getting that 60k blood. We're about to pass it right now, so this team reliably can get it. However, we have to get it before the shield, because as you're about to see, I cannot break this shield, even with great timings. Go in with Ryzen. Wait for the moment to trigger Kagiri. There you go. There's Sun Wukong. Take it down pretty well. And we'll try to approximate this as well as we can. Because it's not when this bar runs out. There's a little bit extra time. So it's right about here where he commits to the animation. And we are at what? What would you say this is on the bar? Maybe 10 to 15%? Maybe 10, 11, 12% remaining on the shield. Good result, but clearly not nearly enough to take that shield down. So of course, here I am going to get wiped. Let's check these final statistics now. I'll fast forward a little bit. 61,000 blood, so you can clock that. Clearly enough to clear the 60k, but it's kind of tight. It's only just over 1,000 more than the threshold, so a bit sweaty. If we look at the total damage, Sun Wukong actually comes in 4th place, even though he's likely wearing the best gear I could put him in on my entire account. He's outpaced by, yes, obviously my A5 Kagiri, but also A5 Numera, who had one less phase. She didn't get to do phase 6, right? We failed on phase 5. And then also Ryzen. Ryzen outpaced him pretty comfortably. Do not sleep on Ryzen if you don't have super high awakenings on the top meta units. So let's unveil that here. We can just change the color. And all these are in millions, but he put up 104.8 million. I'm rounding everything to the nearest 10th of a million. That is going to be run number 1 at Awakening level 3. So here you go. It's going to be the same story. This will be run number 2 at Awakening level 3. I'll show you the very beginning just so you can trust me that the setup is identical. It is. All right. We got our Kagiri. We got our Wukong. This time I placed Ryzen before Numera. It does not matter. It's all within a split second. Or they're landing a buff, or I should say the Wings of Grace. Then we get Diao, then we get Aelin. There's Draylin. There we got our Vorn, and there's Nastia. Same story. I'll toss this on like 10x now. We'll join at a similar point, like in that phase 5 period, that kind of moment in the fight, right before the Storm Surge. So see you in a second. Let's let this run. All right, let me join you back here. There's the Storm Surge from phase 5, and a really similar result. I think we're doing slightly better this time. We're about to pass the 60k, but nothing mind-blowing. Sun Wukong is still, unfortunately, in 4th place, and spoiler alert, we're going to struggle on the shield again. So here's the Verm's Wrath. You gotta say worm or verm. In my head, it's like German, so it must be verm, but I honestly don't know. Here you go. I'm going to time out Kagiri as well as I can in just a second. Boom, quick trigger. Right into Sun Wukong. We'd probably go a little earlier with Wukong there, because he does get that increased state for however many seconds after he ults. That time it was better on the shield health. Let me just show you again, but not good enough. So it's a little bit after this runs out, right when he starts that animation where he can't turn back, right there. So it's pretty close that time, right? I'm sure if I ran it over and over with perfect RNG, there you go, right about there. We're at what? 5 to 8%, somewhere in there, probably closer to 5%. So good result, but still short. It looked like we had it, but he already committed to the animation. We get wiped. Better result in blood as well. 62.3k blood. Let's see the damage now, and you can see a bit better across the board for most of them. Sun Wukong's damage did rise to what is going to round to 110.6 million, and let me show you that right about now. So if we take the average of those two runs, remember I tried to keep this as consistent as possible, we're coming in with about 108 million damage, 107.7 at a 3. Let me show you this now, the big moment where I awakened him, and then we'll do our 2 final tests, and I'll go over all the conclusions with you guys. So it is time to test his A5. To do that, I need to finally awaken the monkey. Obviously, this comp was getting it done no problem when it comes to getting 60k blood, but we were falling short, quite obviously, on the shield. It was what, like 8% to 15% remaining when the dragons started getting ready to wipe us. I truly think the A5 will make all the difference. I'm actually supremely confident in that. So let's finally use these copies I've been sitting on for nearly a year. I picked these up at the beginning of last summer. He's been A3 forever. Let's make him A5 naturally with these 2 dupes. This is the A4, and this is going to give him 8% penetration. Not game-changing, but it'll be a little boost. This will be game-changing. Unbelievable, increasing his damage, the total number of instances by 18. So it's going from 18 to that and another 18, 36 total. That is insane. And the Undaunted Might Cap, the increased damage he can deal to elites and bosses, is increasing from 5 stacks, which is a 5% boost, to 30 stacks. It's going up 25 stacks to a 30% boost in a long fight like this. Additionally, after using his ult, Splitting Hairs, Golden Cudgel Strike's trigger chance is going to increase by 35%, which is enormous. This A5 is no joke. Let's see. Let's test this out. My brand new shining Wukong. What's that BP looking like now? 116.157K. Let's go. So here we go. The camera is back on. That problem is solved. Let's get into our first run testing him at A5. You can see that beautiful V Roman numeral. I'll show you the very, very beginning just so you can trust me that everything is identical. Geary, Sun Wukong. That time we're back to Numera third. Then Ryzen, we get the Torador, Yao Chan, Lipper, Aelin, Raylan, Thorn, what's the placement there, and Nastia. All right, you know the drill. We'll throw this on 8 or 10x, and I'll see you probably right at the beginning of that 5th phase, the 3rd time we're doing the physical mode, because I think it's going to really impress you. See you in a second. All right, we're just starting phase 5 now, and you can see we're already at 60k. Like before you even have a Kagiri ult or a Sun Wukong ult opening this phase, we're already at 60k. And I was a little late on my Kagiri and Sun Wukong trigger, and get that about 8 seconds earlier, so I went conservative, and still we are blowing past our previous numbers. Sun Wukong is in a comfortable 3rd place, and he's about to pass Numera. Big question is, will we be able to take out this shield, and how much is our total blood gonna go up by? So here's the 2nd Drake's Bellow of the phase. We're already up to 67k on the blood, not even as deep into the fight as we were in the A3 runs. Here's the Verm's Wrath. There we go. Let's get those good timings on Kagiri and Sun Wukong. Let's see, can we take this shield down? Already good damage before we've even ulted with them. And there's a huge blast from Sun Wukong. Remember, he's doing 36 instances of damage instead of 18 now when he ults. And look at that. This would be the moment right after that would have been the moment where we would have gotten wiped, but we actually took the shield down. And that's going to be what we're going to call that damage. Let me find the perfect moment exactly when the shield breaks, because that's going to be our first source of comparison, and that's going to be our percent increase. Right there. So you can see we're at 69.3k on the blood, and most importantly, Sun Wukong's damage is at 168.1 million once you round it to that nearest 10th of a million. And let me unveil that for you right now. You can see 168.1. What kind of increase is that, you're asking? A 60.4% increase from 104.8 on run 1 at A3 to 168.1 on run 1 at A5. And that's not counting all the extra DPS he's going to put out right now post-shield. So let's watch that. This is pretty fantastic stuff. He keeps chipping away. We have this whole extra period of vulnerability. We're up to 73, now 74,000 blood. Plus, we're going to get this whole start of phase 6 where we can unload with Numera right there. I didn't even hit that Draylen trigger, so I left a little Numera damage on the table. And look at this, 77k. Huge, huge stuff. We won't watch all the way to the end on the next run because it's pretty similar. There's another Draylen trigger. I guess it didn't really matter when I did it, but we'll get a big blast here. Again, now she has the damage increase from Draylen. All our poison stacks, 9, 10, boom, 10, 4 stacks of 10, explosion. Can we break 82k? You know we can. You know we can do it. Look at that. I mean, obviously this is a whole bonus period, but we earned it, and that blood increase is enormous. From just over 61k the first time, on the first run of A3, to over 82k on the first run of A5. And Wukong enabled that by allowing us to actually break that 5th shield. So, if we actually go back here, and we look at the final damage total, so 82.5k on the blood, Wukong is now in a 2nd place finish, even with Numera getting most of that 6th phase. She doesn't get to take down the shield and get the vulnerability. All the magic DPS are at a slight disadvantage, maybe more than slight, for total numbers in that respect. But he's still at 178.6 when it's all said and done, including the post-shield damage. That's what A5. Did I forget to make myself show up again? That's what the post means, post-shield. So let's unveil that. Look at that, 178.6. So it's a 75% increase in damage when it's all said and done. Over a 60% increase when it's an equal amount of time in the fight. It's remarkable. It's remarkable how good that A5 is. So let's watch that final run now, and let's see that second version of the run when he's at A5. I'll just show you everything's the same, right? We're gonna put everybody out. You guys get the story. Ryzen, Draylen, Thorn, and Nastia. I'm gonna say goodbye, and I'll remember to make myself come back. I'll see you at the end. All right, here we go, right before the Storm Surge in Phase 5. Again, we're way past 60k already. As soon as they're unstunned, we'll pass 65k. Now at 66k. Here's the Burm's Wrath. Torador, go with Ryzen. Nail it here with Kagiri and Wukong. I could even dial these old timings in a bit more. I will do it once I start really perfecting the stuff. Now that I have all my awakenings super, super high. Next thing we got to do is make Morden A3. Look at that, pretty dang comfortably. Boom. That's the moment, 67.4k when the shield breaks. Wukong's up to 165.7, so not as strong as last time, but very, very good blood still. Let me show you that right now. 165.7. What is the increase? Still rounding up to a 50% increase in damage through an equal amount of time, 49.82%. Let's see what he can rack up from here now. And we can speed it up a little bit too. I know how to do that. I don't, so I'll just click up on it a little bit. 73k already. Now we switch. Big blast from Numera. I'm going to sit on Draylen again for consistency. Here's Draylen with the damage increase. Lost a couple soldiers there, unfortunately. Not as clean a finish, but the Wukong damage can't go up, so it's a locked-in number. So we don't get that beautiful 82k, but the blood's not what we're tracking. It's the Wukong damage, and let's see what that looks like. It looks good. So even though it was a bit rougher post-shield, he picked up a lot of it there. He's at 174.3, rounding to 174.4 million damage. Way out of Numera this time because Phase 6 kind of fell apart. But look at that. Let's show it off, 174.3. So the end result, even though it was much higher right when the shield was finishing, the result here on the second run kind of made up for it post-shield. So it comes out to a very, very close finish. We can take these averages now. You can see the average from the two A5 runs pre-shield. It's pretty close, right? 166.9 comes to 167. The average increase, very strong at about 55%, 54.97%. And if we take his average damage all in, including the stuff post-shield, he's at 176.5, so he has growth of over 70%. It's incredible. This is a must-have awakening when you want to get deeper into the game. Why did I finally choose to do this now? Well, frankly, with the new artifact material raid stages, my A3 Wukong was feeling so much weaker than some of the A5 Wukongs I was using in takeovers. So I decided it was time, and I don't regret it at all, because this awakening is insane. This A5 is something really special. Let me know, guys, what did you think? Were you blown away by the results, or did you already know it was going to be this insane? Maybe you did. I'd love to hear from you guys. Subscribe to the channel, share it with your mother. I've been Fastidious, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.